So we're going to finally get into some footage here.
Yeah.
And we have a little SCAW versus KPW from the year 2006.
See, this is fun because I don't remember much of the base.
Now, this is the one video that I could not upscale, so this is going to... Nobody can see what's going on.
Was this from my hard drive?
No, this is mine.
Yes.
This is mine.
Wow, I had gear.
Scott's name was...
Valedictorian.
Valedictorian. I love it. So that ended up being Scott Brumley. That's Ian, Nick, and Newsy.
Yep.
That's Joshua Todd versus Mad Dog.
Yep.
Joshua.
And we got Sean Phoenix versus James Nutter, right?
Yep.
How'd we know him at that point?
I had met Nutter on Wrestling Figs, and he was like a big fan of mine.
So what's Wrestling Figs?
It was just another message board that was like its whole purpose wasn't just backyard wrestling, but had different subsections. So I knew him from there, and then we found out that he lived about like an hour and a half away from us. So then it was like, oh well, we have a base. Come up here and do this.
Hell yeah!
He still wrestles, right?
Not anymore. No.
Okay.
No, he actually has a YouTube book review channel that I think it does pretty well. Actually, his quality's great. Like he's doing what we're doing here.
Good. And I want to say randomly, I went down to Mount Morris just to hang out with them one day before this to kind of just, meet them. And I remember my mom was pretty annoyed that she had to come. She'd take me down there and then pick me up. She's like, why won't they let you stay over? It's like, it's about an hour and a half drive. So you figure she would have to do that 4 times. But yeah, so then that kind of, this was the idea, was we wanted to have a base at Josh's so we could have out-of-towners come in. And at this point, so I want to say this is probably September, October, probably September. We had probably, I want to say we improved the base at this point because...
it looks sturdy. It looks sturdier than it ever did when I had it.
Couldn't tell you what we did to improve it, but I want to say, I remember Out of Control 2, the tarp wasn't big enough, so most of the show didn't even have the tarp. That tarp looks manageable.
Yep.
And it looks pretty sturdy.
Yep.
Half the time, the tarp was more dangerous than it was effective.
Right, exactly.
Especially later on, but we'll talk about it.
Watch us chop the throat.
That was big Jimmy Nutter too. That was.
So I remember when I first saw this, I had already known Nutter. Like he came for BYS1.
Yes.
And then I saw this afterward, and I'm like, what the shit?
Right.
How did that happen so fast?
And you could see the Out of Control entranceway leaning up against the thing that just stayed there.
How do we have this if we don't have anything in between?
How did you...
Because I love Nutter. I love the KPW guys.
Okay,
so
you
back in the
saved
day, you sent it to me.
Yeah,
and I never got rid of it.
Okay.
So I probably never sent you ETW stuff.
Never.
Because I feel like I had footage from this day, but just my match.
Probably, yeah. Because then I remember I was getting a little bit more confident with my video editing. I wasn't using...
Yeah, this wasn't bad.
I wasn't using Windows Movie Maker. I forget what I was using, though. It wasn't Vegas.
It wasn't.
It was something in between, and it gave me more options for transitions and effects and stuff like that.
Which is really the only thing that those things are good for. Like, Movie Maker is just spiral effect every time.
Right. I watched my bump on this. Because it's so big.
Yeah, right. And we use that later on.
Exactly.
That's long-term booking.
I want to say
there.
I pitched that because of that.
So we also had JP versus Genocide on this show.
And
the first
Kevin. There was a triple threat. I'm sorry, and Scott. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Scott was in that match as well. So Scott wrestled JP
and his brother.
But he also wrestled somebody else, right? No?
No.
So that is so weird that we just kept throwing the Brumley brothers in triple threat matches forever.
Yeah, that is funny. See, there's that move I was telling you about that I had already debuted at this point.
So yeah, we have JP versus Genocide comes around later again. Josh versus Mad Dog comes around later. Like, this is a big foreshadowing show.
This would have been in October then, because you would have met Jay at this point, and you were doing his finish there. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're completely good.
And this is the revamped base?
Yes.
So how much time really... This
months.
is between August and
October. Like, at this point, it's probably easier to find, more carpets.
Okay.
And I want to say we only probably, for Out of Control, we only probably had one mattress, and we just put it in the middle.
Right.
So at this point, we probably also added pallets, too, as well, maybe got more mattresses.
So if you had to guess, how many SCAW or just how many shows after Out of Control happened in Josh's yard before this day?
Man, probably less than 10.
Okay.
Maybe, and that's even pushing it, maybe less than 5.
Because I don't remember much of it.
I like this. Were you trying to hit me? Yeah.
That was the ref.
That was awesome.